up? It's Eli Knight with Knight Jiu-Jitsu and Aperture Fight Focus, and I'm going to talk about something that I get probably more questions for an escape for any other position is probably side control. Everybody hates being under side control. It's a miserable position. It's kind of a route that I try to take whenever I'm thinking about side control. First of all, don't let them pass your guard. That's number one. Don't get there is the best way. But after they are passing your guard, you see it's inevitable, what kind of like preparatory, preemptive things can we put in place to not make this, to not allow this to be the worst side control possible? If we get to here and Matt's getting to side control on me like this, first thing is I want to put these kind of arm stop kind of wedges here. So I'm controlling the wedge here by his neck and by his arm here. I'm not grabbing like this here. I'm putting the wrist bone here right that way. And I'm not wrapping over here like this. I'm using the pinky toward my elbow. That's a lot stronger of a structure, and I'm trying to push his arm into him here because this is not comfortable for him and he can't really make a lot of pressure this way. And plus this one here also deters that kind of pressure too. Now, this may allow me to keep the space that I need to be able to replace the guard like this here, but if he has gotten in that space and I'm not able to replace the guard, he can't get this arm underneath my head, which is what he probably wants more than anything else. And so the next best place that he can maybe put this is to the other side of my body. So he'll try to throw the arm over here sometimes. So I'm gonna follow that, and I'm gonna try to create this wedge here like this. I'm gonna put this wedge in his armpit now. The one from his neck goes to his armpit, and then I'm gonna retract this one. Use this grip here. Now you can grab the gi if he's got the gi available, or you can just C-clamp here right by the bottom of the bicep and tricep tendon here like that. And then I'm gonna turn to face the same way he's going, and I'm gonna use this like a Turkish get up in kettlebells if you do that. So I'm gonna put this hand down, this leg is flat, and I'm gonna push his elbow this way to try to push him over and off of me like that. So this is a really good kind of preemptive measure. If I can get those arm stops in the way and I don't allow him to get a nice, tight, strong side control. But let's talk about that worst case whenever, because he was good enough to pass my guard, so it is possible he beat me to the punch there. If that is the case, he does get this arm underneath my neck, right? There's other things we can do with this one too. I mean, I can still wrap and everything else, but if he does get to here, this is the one that's really bad. So from here now, instead of getting this arm in the wedge of his elbow, which I can't because it's under my neck, I'm gonna put this wrist here in his hip, and so keep that space the best I can. I would like to have this one kind of under here framing his neck like this. And from here, I want to bridge, because what I need to do is make space between his hips and my hips to make space for me to be able to replace my guard. What's really preventing that, it's hard to see, is this elbow right here. Because if I try to shrimp out right now, this elbow is kind of blocking me from doing that. So I need to make that elbow that's stapled to the ground blocking me light, so I'm gonna bridge up. That's gonna remove that obstacle. It'll make the obstacle light enough for me to shrimp my hips out. Now there's a huge space between us, and now I can maybe go back and I can replace my guard, like this. So that's the barrier. It's really hard for people to see. They keep trying to spin their wheels and push into that elbow if it's stuck on the ground. You have to make that elbow light first. Now, let's make this a little worse. What if instead I can't even get this frame inside? Now, if this were a striking situation, then maybe it'd be a little easier. If this were a self-defense situation, maybe a little easier. I could kind of rake the eyes, I can pull on his face, I can maybe headbutt him, bite him, something, I don't know. But whatever is the case, I can get that frame in there that way. But if this is more of just a grappling situation, or maybe MMA or something, and then from here, my arms are kind of stuck like this, and I don't have as much use to be able to get that. Now, there's a couple things that I can do from here. One, look where his leg is. This happens a lot of the time that he's making this upper body pressure, and that allows me to come over. Look, I'm taking this outside leg, stepping it across, pulling his ankle between my legs, and figure four in my legs like this. Now, this arm here, I'm gonna reach way over as far as I can, grab some material if it's there, grab some skin if it's not, and then hook right here. I'm gonna scoop my hips underneath. It's gonna look like I'm pulling him across me. I'm not, I'm pulling myself underneath him. Because when I dish myself underneath him like this, he becomes pretty light. Doesn't really matter how much he weighs right now. And so here, now I keep dishing until I'm facing the other direction. And makes a nice little reversal like that. Again, it's not about me pulling him across me. That would take a lot of strength, a lot of energy. If he's bigger than me, that's not gonna happen. But whenever I hook that leg and I get the leverage on that knee and that hip locking out and pulling here, now I'm scooting myself underneath this way until he's all the way across on the other side. Now I'm on top. That's a really helpful little trick. One more little trick like this here that I learned from some of my 10th Planet friends is like this. Now if here, again, we're in the same kind of situation, and he's really nice and tight like this, but that leg's not available. If that leg's not available, that means it's here, up this way. So here, go ahead and tuck your knee Yeah, if that knee is there instead, so that's not as good for me to hook that leg like that. So I'm gonna insert this leg here. Now that's not always easy, especially if I'm not very flexible to do it like that. So I'm gonna cross my legs like this, like I'm just hanging out, and I'm gonna use this other knee here, scoot my hip away, and then I'm gonna push to insert that hip here. Now raise up one sec. And you'll see what I did, inserted this foot here, right? Now, from there, I used that leverage to be able to like push myself out this way, and now I have space to be able to get my knee back in. So what I'm doing, crossing the leg like this here, scooting to change the angle, and then using that bottom leg to push that foot into the wedge of the hip. And once that foot is there, I use whatever frames I can make, and this foot here in the hip to push that way, and then turn back and replace whatever kind of guard I can get back to, butterfly guard, spider guard setup, whatever thing like that. So hopefully those things help, and they're a little different than some of the other options I've put in other videos. You can check those out too. But keep watching Jiu-Jitsu Aperture Fight Focus. Appreciate you guys.